Hey everybody, it's MotherGoose27 and welcome back to my channel. So, let me just tell you now, this video will contain spoilers. And if you don't want to know what broke my heart before you can actually watch it live, just don't watch. Just go finish season 2 and then come back and we can talk about what happened. Because I haven't been able to talk about this with anyone yet, and I'm dying inside. I am actually dying. Anyway, so I finally watched Black Clover Season 2. Nuh-uh, they didn't. They did not. What? Okay. We'll get into it. So this video is going to be a little different. Timecodes will be in the description as always, but I've got some different categories. Now, because I've already talked about the animation, and because I've talked about the music, and because I've talked about the characters before, I'm just going to put all of those into kind of one little category because I don't have a lot to say about each of those things because I've already talked about it in my season 1 video. So if you want to find out my thoughts on the animation, the music, and most of the characters, go check out my season 1 video. I do have a couple of things to talk about in terms of the animation. Ooh, episode 63. Listen, if you know, you know, we'll get there. And there are a couple new characters that I want to talk about as well, but I feel like neither of them was enough to make their own category. I'll still give my general thoughts, and instead of talking about the characters, I'm going to talk about the story arcs. So, like I said, timecode's in the description. I'm going to talk about my general thoughts, I'm going to talk about the story arcs, characters and animation together, and give my final thoughts on the season. And I'm going to try and do all of that without crying. The season messed me up. The season really, really messed me up. Anyway, let's just jump into it. I really loved this season. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved season 1, but I think season 2 was a lot better. And the reason I think that is because season 1 had to establish how their government worked, it had to establish who the characters were, had to establish how the magic system worked. There's a lot that's expected of a season 1, and I think season 1 did an absolutely amazing job at doing that. But season 2 really didn't have to worry about that. Season 2 could just really progress with the story. And of course there are things we learned about the characters and the magic and the government and all that kind of stuff, but we already knew about that stuff. So instead of going in blind and them having to teach us everything, it's like, okay, so here's a little update. This is how things work. And I just really enjoyed it. And it really progressed the story of the elves. It progressed the story of the Midnight Sun, the Third Eye, Licht. Oh, I'm sorry, did you mean Patri? Excuse me? What? This season got me really messed up. I loved the action, well, most of it. Really, really good. I think the progression of the characters and their power levels went really smoothly. The characters are definitely a lot stronger at the end of the season than they were at the beginning of the season. Oh, especially those that got possessed by elves, if you know what I mean. I just really loved this season. So those are kind of my general thoughts. I'm going to actually talk about each of the arcs now. Like I said in my season 1 review, I felt like episode 51 should have been the first episode of season 2. I just felt like it felt out of place at the end of season 1. And I still stand by that. Now, the first arc was really, really good. The attack on the city, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name of the city off the top of my head, but Golden Dawn's initial defense, amazing. They showed those Diamond Kingdom losers who's boss. And then with the Black Bulls coming in to help them at the end, absolutely amazing. And Yami straight up standing up to Vengeance, telling him, take off the mask. And the reveal that Vengeance was cursed, scarred, and that's why he wore the mask, tore me up. But he is absolutely powerful. Him and Yami, just so strong. But I really liked the first arc. I think it was a good introduction into the season. My only complaint was the fact that episode 51 was in season 1. Oh, and then the second arc where Asta finds out that he can never use his arms again. When I found that out, I almost cried. That was so sad. Literally everything he wanted was just stripped away, taken away from him. And the Black Bull's determination to find a way to heal his arms, absolutely beautiful. Such a great little family they've created. And the queen was really cool. It was great to find out about Vanessa and her backstory, and the fact that she was abused and that Yami was the one who saved her. The episodes with Fanzel, I get why we needed them, but it definitely pulled me out of the story a little bit. I was like, no, but Asta's arms. But it was only 2 episodes, and then Fanzel and his wife, or fiance, I think it's still fiance, and his student, they all go see the witches, and then the Eye of the Midnight Sun and the Diamond Kingdom both attack. The action was just so good in this arc. And when Asta's arms were healed and we got to see Demon Asta, and he just straight up yeeted Ladros. Mwah. Beautiful. Well, the animation wasn't beautiful, but we're going to get there. We are going to get there. Anyway, the second arc, I just really, really enjoyed. It was great to see a new civilization, to see the witches, to meet the queen, and she definitely gave us some good hints about the elves. We didn't know yet that they were elves. She definitely gave us some lore tidbits that we needed to hear. Oh wait, before I move in, can we talk about Vanessa's cat? 1, how cute it is. Absolutely adorable, but also how overpowered that is. So cute. I want a cat that can control fate. The Star Festival arc, while it was a little shorter, was really, really good. It was cool to see Yami and Jack kind of competing. It was really funny to see Kanoho trying to get Asta and Noelle together, but also to see Kyato trying to get with Noelle at the same time. It was funny. And the ending where Asta and Yuno are recognized as the top star-earning knights for their class, young up-and-comers, and everyone's like, but they're peasants, they must have cheated, and Yuno just straight up tries to assassinate Asta in front of everyone. I just thought that was really funny, and it was really great to see, and it showed that they are still on the same level. They both still have a chance at becoming the Wizard King. And then when the actual king, can I just say that this season made me hate the actual king even more. Like, we only got to see little tidbits of the king in the first season, but that was enough to make me hate him. But this season, oh, I can't even with the king. I can't. Nope, we're just gonna move on. Now, there were a couple episodes between this arc and the Royal Knight selection test, or the obligatory tournament arc, which I'll get to in a second. And those episodes were good. I liked learning about Marileona and how she's like super powerful, but she decided not to become a magic knight, but she stepped in to help while her brother was in a coma. I can't even. But no, these couple episodes were really good, and I liked getting to see Asta experimenting with his demon form. The Royal Knight selection test. I've got some words. I've got some real words. But I loved that they split everyone up. It wasn't just like the Black Bulls or the Golden Dawn or the Green Mantis. They literally just split up all of the teams and put them together with random people to show how well they work with people that they're not on a squad from. I thought that was really great. The action in this arc was really amazing, and there's just a couple things I want to talk about. First, Longris. Are you kidding me? I hate him. I honestly hate him. He literally went to kill his brother. Oh, it's got me so mad. When Luck, Magna, and Asta just all surrounded him and were ready to take him out, if you know what I'm saying. It just really showed how close the group was, which we get plenty of moments like this, but, you know, we saw the group rally around Asta, and now we've seen the group rally around Finral, and it shows that they all love each other equally. They want to take care of each other. They want to take care of each member of their squad. Oh, but Longris needs to get smacked. Sorry, I'm mad. What do you want me to say? This boy. When Asta fights Longris, What an amazing fight, but it made me so mad when they had a draw. What? Why? Ugh. But then the disappointment that Asta had was just heartbreaking. The Yuno and Rill fight, oh my gosh, that got crazy. And I will say this, because it's left kind of ambiguous, but I definitely think Rill would have won that fight if he didn't destroy his own crystal. Yuno was definitely powerful. Definitely could keep up with Rill, but I think Rill was just barely above Yuno. Literally, I mean, Yuno won, but it was Rill who destroyed his own crystal. It was Rill's stupidity that caused him to lose, not the fact that Yuno was stronger. But then at the end, when Yuno visits Asta and Asta's heartbroken, and Asta tells him, I'm gonna catch up, and Yuno says, not gonna happen, I don't feel like getting caught up to. Oh no, it broke my heart. I was like, little Asta's never gonna achieve his dream, Yuno's too strong. But then I remembered Asta's demon form, and I was like, oh yeah, wait a minute, he's still got a chance. Now, the next couple episodes, Yami explains how he met Vengeance, and at first, I was like, they're okay episodes, but do we really need to see this? But yes, we absolutely did, because it showed how Julius took in Yami and Vengeance, how they both became squad captains, how the Black Bulls and the Golden Dawn were formed, and we get to see the bond that the three of them have, especially Yami and Vengeance's bond with Julius, which we're gonna talk about here in a minute. We're gonna talk about this in a minute. So now I'm gonna talk, I mean, maybe you could break these up into separate arcs, but I'm just gonna talk about the last 13-15 episodes altogether. Broke my heart when the Black Bulls hideout got destroyed. That sucked. But then we find out about our boy Henry. I love Henry. Such a great character. I'll talk about him in a minute though. And it was so cool to see him turn the Black Bull hideout into a literal bull. It's so funny, and a minotaur. But in terms of the Royal Knights, I loved getting to see them kind of come together, their plan, and them invading the Midnight Suns hideout. Oh my gosh, what a great arc. And how they split up into teams of 4, just all the action was absolutely beautiful. While this is going on, the Wizard King had the last 2 gems, and Vengeance comes up to him and is like, hey my guy, I'm sorry. And plot twist, he was licked the whole time, or he was possessed by licked, but he still did what he did willingly because him and Licked were friends. And then Licked and the Wizard King fight, and that has got to be one of the best fight scenes in the entire series. Their fight was amazing. And then the Wizard King sacrifices himself as Licked is about to kill literally everyone. He could have achieved his goal of wiping out the humans, at least in the Clover Kingdom. But the Wizard King used the last of his power to stop it. And then he gets stabbed. No! This was Black Clover's Dumbledore and Snape moment. That's literally what it made me think about, and I couldn't handle it. And I haven't been able to talk to anyone about it yet, and it breaks my heart. I honestly almost cried. And then Yami showed up, and he was so angry. And the Wizard King said, finish what I started. I'm trying not to be too loud because my family's here and I don't want them to think I'm weird, but no, but really though, that scene broke my heart. And then Licked gets what he always wanted. He got the stones, and he brings back all of the elves, every single one. And that included a lot of the characters we knew and loved. And of course, that meant the elves had full reign to use their power. So let's talk about Mereoleona versus Raya, because Raya, he got it handed to him. Let me tell you what, Mereoleona wiped the floor with him, but she couldn't kill him in time because Asta stopped her. And then he got his full power back, and all the elves were and all the elves were brought back. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do it. Nope, no. And just the heartbreak and the pain and the shock that everyone felt as their friends turned against them. And the elves were just so much more powerful. Or like the attack on the Crimson Lion Kings, where their second in command literally wiped the floor with all of them until Fingolian comes back and wipes the floor with him, and he's got the salamander. Ooh. A couple things I want to talk about. The fact that Noelle's family starts to accept her in season 2 is absolutely amazing. They treated her horribly, and she wipes the floor with one and gains the respect of the other, so not a bad start for her. And then the season ends with the elves on their way to the capital, and what's left of the Royal Knights also on their way to the capital to help defend it. We see Asta and Yuno's village being attacked, and Asta and Yuno go to save their village, and Asta's able to bring people back with his demons, with his sword. Oh, okay, wait. I completely forgot about it. I thought this happened in the next season. The Licht versus Asta and Yuno fight was also just so good. Such a good fight. Oh my gosh. They put up a good fight. But then again, Licht was still unconscious. He wasn't fully awoken yet, and he still mopped the floor with them. Oh, it just shows his real power. Okay, we also find out about Patri and how he's not actually Licht. That was a really interesting twist, because I was like, man, everyone keeps referring to Licht as like the leader of their group, but then they also refer to like this master, and that's not Licht, but it really was Licht. But the Licht they were talking about as the leader of their group wasn't the Licht they were talking about as the master. That was actually Patri in the body of Licht. Good twist. It was a good twist. I liked it. So let's talk about some of the new characters, and I'm not going to talk about a lot of them. There's only 3 I really want to talk about. The first is Longris. I hate him. I know I've already said this. Literally, I only bring him back up to say, once again, that I hate him. How dare he try and kill his little brother? How dare he? I will smack him. Bring him to real life. I will smack him. I don't care if he cuts me in half with his spatial magic. He's going down. Now let's talk about some characters I really like. I've already mentioned him, but Henry. I think it's so cool that there was a hidden black bull in their hideout the whole time, and like nobody knew except for Asta and Yami. I think that was so funny. Henry's really interesting because we get to hear his inner monologue a lot, and he talks very normally. But he talks very slow on the outside because he grew up basically alone and never really talked to people, because literally he would kill them if he did. And that just makes me so happy that Asta is a black bull, because then he could befriend Henry. I don't know. I just really liked Henry as a character. I also want to talk about Zora. Zora was also a jerk, but you find out why he's a jerk. We find out kind of what happened with his dad. What happened to his dad was messed up, but I can't remember if it was revealed in season 2 or season 3, so I'm not going to say, but I'm mad. But Zora really is a great character, and I love the design of his character and why he dresses the way he does. I love his trap magic. That's a really interesting magic to have, and he uses it very well. Definitely one of my favorite Black Bulls. And when the Wizard King walked up to him and was like, "Why don't you wear the symbol of your actual squad?" I was like, ooh, I bet he's a Black Bull, and he was. What a great member. What a great member of the squad. But that brings it up. I'm pretty sure it was announced in season 3, but I want to talk about it now. So, spoiler. Of course, Yami was the one who invited Zora to come to the Black Bulls. But Zora hadn't officially joined the Black Bulls. He'd never put on, I can't think what they're called, the little drape thing, the little cape, but it's not a cape, whatever they're called. He never put it on until later on, after the Royal Knight selection exam. And so Yami doesn't find that out until early season 3, when he sees Zora wearing the Black Bull's garments. And he's like, it's about time. So he didn't know fully that Zora was a Black Bull, which also meant that he wasn't sending Zora on missions. So my question is, who are the other Black Bulls? Because Yami specifically states in one of the first couple of episodes when Asta first joins the Black Bulls that there are other members, but they are on mission, so they're not in the hideout. But then we never meet them. We never meet them, and I just kept waiting for new members to be introduced. And he wasn't talking about Zora because he didn't send Zora on any missions because Zora hadn't officially joined. Well, he was a member, but he hadn't accepted it himself, I guess is the best way to put it. And it wasn't Henry because Henry never left the house. So the real question is, who are these other members? Where are they? Because there's been a lot of times they could have showed up. Also, I didn't say this earlier, but can we just applaud the Black Bulls for becoming the number 2 squad? They were number 9, and they went up all the way to number 2. Good for them. And the shock on everyone's face. It was just so funny. Okay, we've made it. The animation. The animation. I actually really loved the animation. Overall, I thought it was really, really good. But what happened to episode 63? Just what happened? I'm sorry. I don't want to trash on people. I don't. But it looks like it was drawn in MS Paint. Why? And it just scared me so much. I thought all of the animation was going to be like this after that point. There were a couple sections where it was like that, but it was never as bad, ever. That whole fight, I get it. It's expensive to draw fight scenes where characters are moving that quickly, but it definitely pulls you out of the immersion. It pulls you out of the story when it's going from the normal art style to MS Paint to normal to MS Paint. It looks really bad. I'm sorry. I don't want to trash on the animators because they do an amazing job. But just this one episode was not that good. But besides that, the animation was really, really great. And like I said, there were a couple moments like that in following episodes, but it really wasn't that bad. Okay, final thoughts time. I really wanted to make this episode a lot shorter, and I thought I could, but I'm looking at the recording, and I'm at 35 minutes. So I'm going to go through this quickly. I really, really loved this season. We learned so much about the story and so much about the elves and what happened. Well, not fully, but we learned a lot about what happens between the humans and the elves and why the elves want to just straight up murder everybody. Makes sense to me. Between the dark magic spell, filling them with malice, and the already anger and sadness and pain that they feel from their entire people getting genocided, makes sense they want to kill all the humans. And it leaves at a really big cliffhanger. I think it ends at a great spot with Asta and Yuno saving their village and then heading forward to save the capital if they can. It was a really, really good season, and I'm excited to see where Season 3 goes. To be honest, I've already watched all of Season 3 up to where it is, but it's premiering weekly now. Season 3 is live, so I'm up to episode 25, which is the latest, 125, which is the latest episode, so we're only about halfway through Season 3, so it might be a while, but I will be back with my Season 3 review whenever it comes out. Thank you guys so much for watching, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe to join the flock, and I will see you in the next one. Mother Goose out.